Today we are in Rostov, Russia, which is 1,676 miles from Jerusalem. And we are meeting with the rabbi of the community there, Rabbi Chaim Danzinger. Thank you very much for your time. How are things in Rostov? Give us a very brief update. What's life like?
Life in Rostov is very similar to what it is anywhere else in the world. We have a beautiful Jewish community, a Cantonist synagogue built 150 years ago. Life here is, it's southern Russia, beautiful weather, a very, very rich Jewish history, and a large Jewish community of 15,000 Jews. And we've been living here for 11 years, and thank God, enjoying every day of it.
Wow. And tell me something. Historically, this was one of the places of the Lubavitch Rebbe used to live there, right? Is that correct?
So exactly. If Lubavitch comes from the village of Lubavitch, when the First World War was nearing Lubavitch, the fifth Lubavitch Rebbe left Lubavitch and came to Rostov. So 100 years ago, for about 8 years, Rostov was the capital of Lubavitch in the world. What New York is today, Rostov was back then.
Wow. And you have 15,000 Jews, and how many of those come to the synagogue on a regular basis? How many are connected with their Jewish heritage?
Okay, so in Russia, many of these Jews lived through 7 years of communism. They knew very little or nothing about Yiddishkeit. The reason we moved here was to reconnect them. So thank God we have, I'd say, on the average Shabbos, about 200 people. The large holidays, Hanukkah, we have about 1,200 or 1,300 of them coming to a concert. Pesach, we have 800 people at our own Passover Seder. We distribute about 3 tons of matzah. So quite a few of them come throughout the year to various Shabbos and holidays. And they all know it's a historic shul built by soldiers, Cantonists. They all come sometime throughout the year to just see, take pictures, pray, participate in programs.
That's incredible. And do you speak the local language? Can you tell us Shabbat Shalom in Russian?
In Russia, they say Shabbat Shalom as they do in Hebrew, but everyone in Russia, a lot of people speak a little Hebrew. They want to know a little Hebrew, so we just say Shabbat Shalom more than we say Good Shabbos. But yeah, I did pick up Russian. Russian is, I'd say, a difficult language to pick up, but as most people here don't speak English, we learned Russian, and it's a rich language, and it's been a challenge. But thank God, after 11 years,
do you experience any anti-Semitism in Rostov?
So I'd say that today in Russia, people often ask that question. I personally believe that as a Jew, a rabbi walking with a beard, a kippah in Berlin, London, or Paris, probably would encounter more incidents than I do here. Because people here mind their own business. As far as Israel, no one's into anti-Israel sentiment. So when there's any issues going on in Israel, there's no protests. So overall, thank God, we feel safe here. And I'd say the Russian Jewish community is now enjoying probably what is the best time it's enjoyed in hundreds of years.
And tell me something, where do you get all your kosher supplies from, your kosher food, your matzah you mentioned, your kosher meat? How does that all work?
So 11 years ago when we first came here, we used to schlep with suitcases frozen meat on the flights. You could imagine I had an instance once when we went on a stopover flight, frozen meat, it melted on the way. You could imagine you land in the airport and there's blood dripping out of your suitcase. Not a nice sight to see. Nowadays, thank God, there's everything in Russia. There's kosher meat, shochtim. They actually come to our city once every 2 weeks and they do shchita for the entire Russia. We have dairy is a problem. Now it's Shavuot, and a few days from now we don't have any dairy for that, but we're not complaining. Overall, you can get everything you need here nowadays. Nash is a bit of a problem. Ice cream the kids don't see too often, but overall we're not complaining.
Incredible. I mean, you could get kosher milk if you can milk your own cows, or milk's a problem?
We could milk our own cows. I'm not, I prefer getting milk from a bottle, pasteurized. It looks normal, it tastes normal. The concept of going to a cow and milking hot milk and doing the whole, it's just not for me. So I skip that. We get soy milk from Belgium. We don't complain. That's good enough for us. We visit the States once a year. We enjoy a good latte with cow's milk, and it gives us it's a little treat for us.
Tell me something. If I was to come to your Shabbat table, what local foods would I find on your Shabbat table that's native?
Okay, so the staple foods here of any Jew, so even those Jews that don't come to shul, they know nothing maybe about Yiddishkeit or very little. The Jewish kitchen here is vital. Jews connect through Jewish food. So the famous one that everyone knows, gefilte fish in Russian, is called farshirovanaya riba, stuffed fish. Every Jew knows how to make that. But an interesting one is called farshmak. Jews living in times of when they had little financial.
Did you say farshmak?
Farshmak.
Sounds like you're swearing at me, but okay.
I know. I say that in the States, people throw shoes at me. Farshmak, what is it? It's herring. that's smashed up beat it up with bread and with apples. I'm not sure the recipe. I don't try it in my house, but people love it. And if you make enough l'chaim, you could also like it.
Tell me something. Do you feel there's like a future for Jews in Rostov? 50 years from now, is it going to be a vibrant place, or is it petering down?
That's a very good question. We're here as rabbis. I view our main mission to bring people back to Yiddishkeit, to give them the chance to live a Jewish life. For 70 years, there was communism. Before that, in the time of the Tsars, things were very difficult. The Nazis occupied Rostov. There was never a time that Jews could live here and practice. Our goal is to give the Jews, to bring them back to their heritage, to teach them what it means to be a Jew. What they do next is up to them. Our job is to provide them with the ability to live a Jewish life here. Is there a future? Only Hashem knows. We're providing them with the ability to know what it means to be a Jew, to start practicing, and then the sky's the limit.
What do you do for mikvah? For mikvah, is there a ritual bath for people?
The oldest Chabad mikvah in the world is in Rostov. The oldest Chabad mikvah. So the first Chabad mikvah was built by the 5th Lubavitch Rebbe, and it was built in Rostov. So any Chabad mikvah in the world is built based on the blueprints on the mikvah built here in Rostov. Because as you know, the Chabad mikvah varies. Chabad mikvah do what's called a bar al gabe bar, where the normal way is the bar al yad bar. You have the rainwater on one side and the mikvah on the other side. The Chabad minhag is to have the bar, which is on top of the other. The bottom one is the rainwater, the top one is the regular one. So the first mikvah built like that in the world was in Rostov by the 5th Lubavitch Rebbe. And every single Chabad mikvah in the world is built based on this mikvah. This mikvah is still around. It's tremendous. They found it in 1998. They uncovered this mikvah. They dug in, the people that were here then, they dug in the basement of a house. They uncovered the first step, the second step. They uncovered the whole thing. There was still water in the lower bar, in the lower water pool.
Wow.
And so we have that mikvah. We have a mikvah in our shul. We're also building now a nice, beautiful women's mikvah, God willing.
If I was to ask you in a sentence, what does it mean to be a Jew in Rostov, Russia today? How would you answer that?
I think, Russian Jews have a tremendous amount of Jewish pride. And I think the Nazis came here, they killed every single Jew in the city, over 20,000 Jews over the span of 2 days in August of 1942. So I believe what it means to be a Jew. Today, when Rabbi Lau visited here, he said a word that meant a lot to me. He said, nekama. What is revenge, Jewish revenge? We don't go fight. We don't go do something against someone. Nekama is when you come back to your heritage in a city that was decimated by the Nazis, and you stand as a proud Jew on Rosh Hashanah, on Yom Kippur, on Pesach, on Shavuos, and you say, I am a Jew. You sing Am Yisrael Chai. That's what it means to be a Jew. Jews here have tremendous Jewish pride. They're proud of their heritage. They're coming back in droves. And that, I think, is what it means to be a Jew in Russia today. It means to sing Am Yisrael Chai, to be a proud Jew, and to do your best to bring yourself back and your family back to Yiddishkeit.
Amazing. Rabbi Danzinger, this has been a pleasure. It looks absolutely stunning behind you. I hope it's like that all year long. And please God, I look forward to come and visit.
It's about 2 months a year like this. The rest of the time, it's snow. But be sure to come in the summer. In the winter, we could go skiing together. We'd love to, I always tell people, if you're in the area, stop by. It's been a while. We had the World Cup here, so people came for the World Cup. But otherwise, we don't get so often too many tourists. But we'd love to have you or anyone else that makes it to this part of the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Have a great day.